Oh boy, where do I begin with this one, guys? Oh my goodness. Okay, so this just came out. It's brand new, just a few minutes ago. I'm recording the video very shortly after this came out. So I haven't looked at a lot of this stuff, but I did quickly glance ahead and I saw that we do have the gear score requirements for Chaos Raids, and they're going to look very scary at first. So a little bit of a spoiler alert, I guess, or a scary alert. I know Halloween was a couple of days ago now, but don't be too scared, because I'm going to explain a little bit why, even though the numbers look really scary at first, they're not as scary as they probably seem like they are. So I don't want to jump too far ahead of myself. We have a whole bunch of news and updates with the Chaos Rising update. That's right. It's got a name. It is the Chaos Rising update, and it is coming Thursday, November 8th. That's in less than 1 week, guys. Very, very soon. Time goes by so quickly. Every day before the release of Chaos Raids is precious, so definitely take advantage of those double drops in hard mode dungeons to get yourselves prepared. So, of course, we know that the Shadow Altar and Moonlight Fortress are going to be the first two Chaos Raids that are released November 8th, and then the Clock Tower will be released at the end of the month on November 30th. And let's take a look at the gear score requirements now. Okay, here we go. So the Shadow Altar is going to have a gear score requirement of 4,500. The Moonlight Fortress is going to have a gear score requirement of 5,900. And the Clock Tower, which is going to be the Chaos Raid released at the end of November, is going to have a gear score requirement of 7,800. So you're probably looking at these numbers and you might be panicking a little bit, as I did when I took a look at them at first, but you just have to think this through a little bit. So the Clock Tower Chaos Raid isn't going to be out until November 30th. That's the end of the month. Maplestory 2 hasn't even really been out for a full month. The Head Start came out early October. The release for free-to-play came out October 10th. I mean, most people have only been playing the game for 3 to 4 weeks. So while it seems really intimidating, November 30th is still a pretty long time to go. And we're going to have the other two Chaos Raids released and getting legendary gear from both of those before we run the Clock Tower. And that's a really important thing, is we are going to be getting legendary gear from the Shadow Altar and the Moonlight Fortress. All the armor pieces are going to come from both of those Chaos Raids. The Clock Tower is what is going to end up giving you your weapon. So the gear score requirements that you really want to focus more on, rather than being distracted by the super high number that is 7,800 for the Clock Tower, is the Shadow Altar and the Moonlight Fortress, because these are going to be the two Chaos Raids that come out next week. And these are going to be the ones that we can run right away. And more specifically, I'd say the most important gear score number that you really want to focus around is the Shadow Altar, because that is going to be the easiest one. It's going to be the one that drops 3 different pieces of gear. It's going to give you your hat, your gloves, and your boots. And that's kind of the gear score that you want to focus on right now without having any legendary gear, because it's going to be expected from players to be able to run the Shadow Altar without having any legendary gear, as it will be the first Chaos Raid and the most easy one as well. So as you're gearing up your character right now, don't get too distracted by the 5,900, 7,800 numbers, because they are very, very scary. Work on trying to focus around that 4,500 number. And honestly, if you are getting a full set of epic gear and you end up enhancing your weapon to plus 12, you're probably going to be pretty close to 4,500. My character right now has a little bit short of 4,000 gear score, but that is because I have not enhanced my weapon past plus 10. I actually haven't even enhanced any of the Chaos Raid weapons, because my strategy, which is actually a pretty good strategy, honestly, what I've been doing is I have been holding on to all of my Fire Dragon weapons, all my Merpagath weapons, and I'm going to wait until a couple of days before the release of Chaos Raids. After I end up finishing my 30 dungeon runs this week, I'm going to take all the weapons that I got and then go through them. I have about 50 of them right now. I'll probably have 70 or so by the time that I finish. I'm going to pick the one that has the best 2 bonus attributes out of all the ones that I've gotten, and that's the one that I'm going to go ahead and work on. And after that, I'm going to use all the extra copies of weapons that I have and use those to enhance it past plus 10. So hopefully I should get it to plus 13. I would be very surprised if I didn't get it to plus 12, plus 13, but once you do have a plus 12 weapon and a full set of epic gear, you should find yourself probably around that 4,500 number. Maybe you might have to end up enhancing a couple of pieces of armor for some gear score, or tweaking a few little pieces with your gear here and there, but don't get super distracted by the really, really high numbers, because they're very scary to look at first glance. But after all the legendary gear that we get from running Shadow Altar and Moonlight Fortress, I'm sure our characters will be well prepared to run the Clock Tower. So wanted to talk about that, but there's also quite a few other things that are mentioned in this update. So this is a general update for the game. So it's not just going to be the release of the Chaos Raids, but it's also going to have some quality of life improvements. It's going to have the Thanksgiving event, and it's pretty much just the first major update for Maplestory 2, which is pretty awesome considering the game's only been out for a little over a month. And we already have our first major update. That is awesome. Those of you who play other games, you know it can definitely be several months, maybe even 6 months to a year for some games to get major content releases, and here we are at just a little over a month. So once again, you're going to get the legendary headgear, gloves, and shoes from the Shadow Altar, the legendary tops and bottom for the Moonlight Fortress, so you have all your armor before you actually run the Clock Tower, which comes out on the 30th, and that is what will end up giving you your weapon. Here's a little bit of a teaser screen as to what was probably a little bit scary to look at right now, considering nobody has any legendary gear, but a little screen of dismantling your legendary gear. And I guess it's to point out that very similar to the gear that we end up getting in hard mode dungeons right now, when you dismantle legendary gear, you're going to get weapon and armor boxes, so that if you do get gear that is not going to be useful for your class, or it doesn't have good stats on it and you don't want to use it, not only are you going to get onyx crystals from it, but you're also going to get these weapon and armor boxes so that you can, when you gather enough of them, you can end up picking something useful for your class. Quality of life improvements. This is pretty cool. They added this little GIF here. By the way, I will add a link to this in the description if you guys want to go ahead and take a look at it on your own later. Of course, I'm not reading everything word for word. That would just take way too long. But if you do want to look at this in more detail, I'll put a link in the description. Sometimes it's the little things that matter the most, and it looks like they are going to be unveiling a new feature, the wardrobe swap. That's pretty cool. I'm not going to lie, Maplestory 2 is not just an MMO in terms of all the MMO things that you can do, like dungeons and raids and gear progression and character progression, but the game has just got so much more to offer, so many social elements, gear, customization, of course, the user-generated content, and being able to customize your gear in your house. So these things matter a lot. And if they don't really matter as much to you, think about it this way. Me personally, I'm somebody who focuses more on the MMO elements of the game, things like gear progression, character progression, but there's a lot of people playing Maplestory 2 who don't really care about that stuff as much, and I even know a lot of people like this. So improving elements and adding features like this is really going to keep the game healthy and in a good spot for a very, very long time to come. So if you find something that comes in an update like this that you personally don't feel like you're going to take advantage of a lot of, there's going to be a lot of people that do, and it's going to keep the game in a really, really good and healthy spot. We're also adding additional quick slot bars for your use. You'll be able to load up multiple layouts of skills or collect various mounts into additional slots. That's pretty useful because the customization and the UI, it does seem like it has very limited slots. For a wizard anyway, wizards don't really have that many skills and abilities, so I don't find it to be that big of a problem, but I'm sure if you guys play some classes where you feel like the UI can get pretty cluttered, this is going to come in really handy. And the Thanksgiving event. Look at all this stuff that we get. It's crazy. What is this Nexon, guys? I don't know. Maybe they're just, I don't know what is going on. This does not feel like this is Nexon. With all this, the transparency of the community, all these updates, it's really crazy. Thanksgiving comes to America in a few weeks, and the favored meal isn't going to be taking it laying down. November will feature a special event to keep your bellies full as we come up on Turkey Day, and you'll be able to claim some special prizes for beating back the foul menace. I mean, we just had a really awesome Halloween event that's still actually going on right now, and right after Thanksgiving, and then we have Christmas. It's going to be a busy time in Maplestory 2, so I hope you guys are ready for it. And of course, the November Style Crate is coming as well, so more opportunities to get. I actually have a style crate. I haven't used it yet. Maybe I'll open it up in a video. I think everyone got one for free, but you know, I try my best to stay away from the loot boxes because, you know, it can get a little out of hand sometimes, but whole bunch of new items coming to the style crate really, really soon. So guys, I don't know. This is, what is this? The third update, the third developer update in the last week. Each one of them with tons and tons of news and updates about Maplestory 2. It's looking good. I mean, I don't say this very often, especially considering a lot of the games that I played in the past. It's been the exact opposite. It started off looking really, really good, and then it became very clear after time that the developers just didn't really care, or it was a cash grab, and you know, it's looking really good and really promising so far. So what do you guys think about all this? What do you guys think about, first of all, the gear score requirement for the Chaos Raids? Are you a bit scared by the really big number for the Clock Tower? Don't be that scared, guys. I know it's intimidating, but it'll seem a lot easier and a lot better once we start getting legendary gear and increasing that gear score number. What do you guys think about all the updates, the Thanksgiving event, all this cool stuff coming out? Let me know. And I'm in a good mood. I'm really looking forward to all this. I'm not going to lie. I'm generally feeling really good about the state of the game, and I hope that you guys are as well. So wanted to talk about this stuff, mostly the gear score requirements for the Chaos Raids, and I'll go ahead and leave it here. So if you have any questions or anything, feel free to let me know in the comments. If you guys enjoyed this video and you want more videos like this, feel free to leave a like. It really does help out a lot. If you didn't enjoy the video, consider leaving a dislike, but if you guys do, I ask you to please just leave in the comments section any feedback or things that you guys didn't like that you want me to improve in the future. And of course, it is November, which means I did open up the November giveaway. Link is in the description. Feel free to check it out. There's plenty of ways to enter, the easiest of which being subscribed to the channel for 2 tickets, but you can get a total of 5 of them, 4 different ways to enter, and it is going to be for a $50 Nexon NX or a $50 Steam gift card for Maplestory 2 merits. Maybe you can end up using those merits for some of the style crates that are coming out soon. You can use them on whatever you want, though. That's going to be it from me. Have a fantastic day. Once again, guys, I hope you're having fun just as I am in Maplestory 2. And until next time, this is Salt of the Salty Guild, signing out.